Hello and welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. A Barcelona news roundup coming up for you today, and I have to say, plenty of news for discussion. We're going to be talking about the very, very important topic that is the motion of no confidence. We're going to be discussing today's double training session with emphasis there on Lionel Messi and on Philippe Coutinho's future. Plus, we're also going to be talking about, finally, a defensive rumour. A defender has been linked to Barcelona. This is not a drill. Let's get to it. But like I say, we have to kick off here with the very important topic that is the motion of no confidence, which is currently ongoing against the current board. And just to give you a refresher there, 16,521 signatures are required there, not to kick them out, but that there is simply to pass the first of two stages in this process. If you get those signatures, a referendum then will be called for all socios to take the option to remove the current board immediately. Now, today was the first official announcement there regarding the number of signatures which have been collected so far. The ballots there were received at the very beginning of this month. It's been about a week so far as such to get those signatures down in writing, and the official figure right now is 7,500 socios that have currently voted against the current board, and there are now 8 days remaining in which to collect the final signatures required to get to that final figure of 16,521. And I think when you are analysing there, so far, have we made progress? Is this looking likely? Are they going to get to that figure? I think you can look at this, to be honest, in one of two different ways. Because if you wanted to look at it on the one hand, optimistically, you would say that's nearly half of the signatures required there gained in the very first week of the motion. That's something that is a positive, meaning that if we could keep up that kind of support, if we could repeat those kind of numbers in the 8 days remaining, you would expect there to reach that target. But on the flip side of that, you could also argue that if Messi's words didn't prompt you as a soci there to go out, to sign your name, to vote against the current board, then will you really see a big amount of support coming in these final days? You feel as though if you really wanted to sign that motion, if you wanted to make your voice heard, you maybe would have done it by now. You would have done it as quickly as you possibly could. Although you do have to say the pandemic in Spain is not making things easy, of course. And I think me personally, at this stage, I'm sort of drawn between the two different ways of looking at things. I don't really want to get my hopes up. I remember back in 2017, I've spoken about it before, obviously Benedito's motion there. He tried everything to get this board out. It seemed like the perfect chance to remove Bartomeu and his bunch of clowns. But again, the support, it just sadly didn't come. And I really do hope this time it will be different. They do have those 8 days left, and we do still have hope the board can be removed. But this is not an easy process, and it's not coming at an easy time. There needs to be, in these coming days, big support to make this motion possible. But if we do now move on to that double training session, because as we mentioned before, this was a big week in terms of Ronald Koeman's pre-season preparation, and Tuesday there was the start of 2 back-to-back training days for this Barcelona team, with a training session there taking place in the morning and also in the evening on the same day to get the players up to speed and on the same wavelength as quickly as we possibly can. And I want to say once again, Lionel Messi, again this morning, for that first training session, he was the very first player again to arrive at the training centre, which is really good to see. And it is interesting because yesterday, of course, we spoke about the fact that Messi arrived an hour and a half before that training session was due to start, and apparently that was actually because he met before training with Ronald Koeman himself. Now, that would have been the very first meeting the two had had face to face since, of course, Messi told Koeman that he felt more outside the club than in it, and it looked as though Messi would be on his way. But apparently, in Monday's meeting between the two, the feelings were good. Koeman basically wanted assurances there from Messi that he was going to give that maximum commitment and really apply himself in the coming season. And apparently, Koeman there was left in no doubt. Messi has said now, repeatedly, he's still here, he's still going to fight for this shirt, and he's still going to give everything out there on the pitch. And I believe him. And once again here on Tuesday, just as he did on Monday, Messi trained individually alongside their Philippe Coutinho, with both of those players set to rejoin the full group in the coming days, staying in line there with La Liga's protocol. And I do want to talk here about Coutinho, about his future, and some very, very interesting words this morning from his agent, Kia Joabchan, who actually offered not only an interesting insight there on his client's future about Coutinho staying at Barcelona, but he also had some very, very interesting words on the plans of Barca this season for their recent big money signings. Because when Coutinho's agent was asked there this morning on TalkSport, a radio station here in the UK, whether he expected Coutinho to remain at the club this season, he was very, very concrete. He said, yeah, Koeman called him right after the Champions League victory with Bayern. He said the very following day, and he told him that he's very much in his plans and he would like him to return to the club. He said he was due to return to training there on September the 7th, but he's already returned there at the beginning of September because he didn't want to lose his momentum and his fitness, and he's been training with Barcelona since. He said all signs right now point to the fact that Barcelona have changed quite dramatically. He said in their philosophy of how they wanted to move forward from last year, and for instance, the players they brought in, like Coutinho, like Dembele, and Griezmann, they're all going to be a part of their squad this year. And that for me there is very interesting words indeed. Not only their confirmation that Coutinho does indeed look set to play a big, big part under Ronald Koeman, who's already assured him that he does have a part in this team, but also they're the fact that maybe right now this is the season for Coutinho, for Dembele, for Antoine Griezmann. Are they going to get a real opportunity in this team? Can Ronald Koeman find a place for each of them? It's not going to be easy, especially with even more players being linked now in those attacking areas. It is going to be a tough task for Koeman, but that's why he's there, and it is going to be very, very interesting to see where Coutinho and the others fit right in. However, finally, it is time now to talk about defenders. Because over the past few weeks, I think we've all been watching on as Barcelona here have been linked to forward, after forward, after forward, and then midfielder, after midfielder, after midfielder. And we've all been sat here thinking, when are we going to address the real problem? When are we actually going to look here at this team? And you're thinking, it's not really the forwards, it's not really the midfielders. We need to look at defenders. It is as simple as that. Because as a team, don't forget, that a few weeks ago conceded 8 goals in the Champions League, and yet there doesn't seem to be any urgency from the club to actually address the defensive structure, and that's staggering to me. Now, one name who has finally resurfaced for the first time in a little while happens to be here Eric Garcia of Manchester City, of course, the young Spanish centre-back who's also been away now on senior international duty over the past week or so. Now, we already know that Eric Garcia doesn't want to extend his contract with Man City. He's admitted that very publicly, and that's going to expire in the summer of 2021, and he does want to return to Barcelona. And the only question that does remain right now is, what would Man City be willing to accept this summer to agree to his sale before, of course, he could leave for free in just a few months' time? Well, we might be about to find out, because according to MD, Barca will open negotiations. They will finally make that move there towards Man City over Eric Garcia in the next few days, in an attempt there to reach a deal to bring him in this summer before 2021, with rumours right now putting City's valuation between 10 to 15 million euros, which for a player there that you could actually sign a pre-contract with in January for absolutely nothing, maybe the club wouldn't want to go out and spend 10, 15 million euros right now on Eric Garcia. But for me, defence has to be a priority. Whether it's Eric Garcia, whether it's other players, I think fullback, we should certainly be receiving more links to players there in the fullback areas, but we're just not. That, for me, the defensive side of our game, it should be much more of a priority than, say, somebody like Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum coming in, he may well add something, he may well be available, he may be a good player, but look, defensive reinforcements is what we're all crying out for, and it simply has to be addressed. So please do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. What are your feelings right now in terms of the transfer window? Where do you feel Barcelona should be looking right now? What players would you like to see potentially being linked with the club in the weeks to come? And of course, what's your thoughts there on Coutinho staying at Barcelona, Messi meeting with Koeman, and the motion of no confidence? All the latest updates right here and on more TalkFCB. It's all coming up for you. Plenty more to come, guys. Thank you indeed for your support. But until next time, as always, Visca! El Barça!